Hey everybody, it's Kyle. Hey, yesterday afternoon I was in the front yard playing with the kids after work, and one of my neighbors walked up, who happens to be a pretty good friend of mine, and just, as neighbors do, said, "How you doing, Kyle?" And I said, "I'm doing great." And within moments, there was a little bit of a meltdown by one of my boys on the spectrum. And, I proceeded to manage it, handle it, kind of get it all under control, and then within a few minutes came back to him and said, "Sorry about that, that's kind of what I have to deal with sometimes." And he said, "Kyle, you always seem like you're doing well." He said, "You always seem like you're actually really happy." He said, even as I know you have to deal with some things some people don't want to do. And I guess I felt compelled to share with him my happiness path. And I told him that I kind of have a happiness path, and it keeps me on that path all the time. And a lot of times I'm more than just happy. I'm really happy because of my happiness path. Well, he asked me what my happiness path was, and so I have a whiteboard that was in my car, so I pulled it out and I drew it for him. And he said, "Why don't you share this with more people, Kyle?" He said, "This is interesting stuff." So I want to show you my happiness path and kind of explain kind of how it works a little bit for me, and hopefully it'll be helpful for you. So my happiness path kind of works like this. I call it the learn it, live it, share it, and give it happiness path. And you can see what happens is when you're early in the path, when things happen that you don't really know what to do, you can experience a lot of fear and frustration, and there's a lot of uncomfortableness in your life. But that's kind of right in this area here. You see there's a frown. I'm not a great drawer, but I'm doing my best. But for me, when things happen that create frustration or anger, or I really don't know what to do, I realize I'm in this section right here. And I know that if I can learn a principle or apply something that will help me get through it, I can move to the live it. And that's really where I try to spend most of my time, is the learning and living part of it, because I'm constantly learning and trying to apply the things I learn and live them. Because once you start living them, then it becomes, you take yourself out of the unhappiness path, and you kind of put yourself in a little bit of a happier path there, because you're applying those things you learn. Now, what's happened to me in a lot of cases, and I think this is what my buddy sees, Chris, what he sees is he sees me a lot of times in the share it and give it section. You can see here in the share it section, I give it one of these. Again, not a great drawer, but when I'm sharing this information, it makes me even happier, because it's easier to share it once you've lived it and you've seen the results. And I've seen a lot of results, and it's exciting for me. And so I get excited when I get a chance to share it. And then I drew, it's not a very good drawing, but that's a picture of a guy with his mind blown because he's so happy. I don't know if you can see how big his smile is there. But when you can start giving back to others, then it really, really gets exciting. Because not only are you continuously learning and living, but as you start to share and give to others, you can start to see their results and their happiness grow. And so, I don't know how helpful that is for you, but I can tell you this: if you can apply this in your life, and here's what the good part for me. Whenever I don't know what to do, and I'm right here, and I'm frustrated or unhappy, or I feel tension, or there's problems in my family or home or work or whatever I'm doing, I know that if I can learn, I can escape that uncomfortable section and get to a pretty good smile pretty quickly by living those things. Here's the great thing about learning and living. There's a book on almost everything. Every problem you've ever had, or every situation you'll come across, most likely there's a book on it, or there's information, or people want to help you. So if you're constantly looking to learn how to resolve issues and get into the live it part, you can spend a lot of your time in live it. And if you're like me, I spend a whole bunch of time in sharing it and giving it. And a little bit, even more time here than probably I deserve. So, the reality for me is I'm constantly learning and trying to apply those things in my life and live them. And as I do, it makes me so happy. So happy that I can't stand not to share it with Chris last night and with you today, and start giving. And that's really where the juice starts to flow and things get exciting. So there's a little bit of insight into my wacky mentality. Keeps me pretty happy. I'm kind of right here a little bit right now. And see if you can see the top of my head. But the reality is this. For me, I know when I'm here, I'm not far from here. All I've got to do is find the answers and apply those answers and start living it. And it's lunchtime here at work. I'm out in my car. I'm actually headed over to a thrift store because the guy in my office had a question for me. And just a few days ago, I was over at the thrift store at lunch and I saw a book that I think will answer his question. And so I'm so excited to go find that book, buy it for him at a thrift store for probably 50 cents. I probably got it in my change here in my car, and I can share it with him and give him that book and let him start to go through this process too. Again, learn it, live it, share it, give it. You want to be happy? Here's your process. If you're upset and you're here, it doesn't take much to get here. And you can see the smile starts when you start living it, because you start to see results. You start to understand a trial is only a trial if you don't know what to do. Once you know what to do and it happens again, it's not a trial. You know what to do. You'll manage it because you've learned it and lived it. Again, once you can do that, start to share and give, your mind gets blown and it really gets exciting. So hopefully that's helpful today. Sorry about my bad drawing, but we can't be great at everything, right? Have a great day. Have a great weekend. I'll see you on Monday. Bye-bye.